I've got 19 amazing crafting hacks packed in this video. Stick around to the end. Trust me, you won't want to miss any of these. Let's get going. You know all the tubes that we get with vinyl on them, gift wrap, or even paper towel rolls or toilet paper rolls? I like to cut little sections off them and wrap my cords in them. It keeps them nice and neat and tidy, and I have lots in my craft room, from my hot glue gun to my Cricut iron to my computer, and it keeps it neat and tidy. Got a thread and needle that you're fiddling around with? Get out some nail polish and put the nail polish on the end of the thread. And when you go to put it through the needle, it stiffens it up and it goes through a lot easier. This is a really great hack to try, and it will make your sewing life a lot easier. Need a paint palette to do some crafting? Save those lids. This makes a really great palette to put your acrylic paint in, and when you're all done, you can just wash them out and reuse them again. So you don't have to go to the dollar store and buy all kinds of new palettes. You can also use lids from glass jars or the plastic lids from coffee canisters. So always be a little bit mindful before you go and buy something new at the dollar store if you have something that you can just upcycle and use for that same purpose. And also, if I still have some paint left in it, I throw it in a little zippy bag and it's good to use after. Next hack, if you want to make some really small dots on your painting project, grab a toothpick, dip it in your paint, and it'll make a little tiny dot. And just look through your craft room, and I'm sure you have all kinds of things that you can use to make small circles, like the end of a paintbrush or the end of a stamp. Just get creative and you'll see how you can take your crafting game to the next level and make it look more professional with nice, neat circles. And you're not trying to do it by hand. Back to these paper tubes again, and I love to turn them into little gift boxes. Cut off the desired length that you need for the little gift that you're going to give to somebody. I like to make them pretty, so I'm going to cover mine in some scrapbooking paper. Cut your length of scrapbooking paper to the size of the tube, and then we're going to use our glue stick and glue that paper onto the tube. Trim it around the edges so it's nice and neat. And then you're just going to bend in the ends on either side so they're evenly spaced along the middle, and make sure you're bending it in on the top the same way that you bend it on the bottom. And once you're all done, you have a cute little tube that you can put a little gift in. You can add some ribbon or embellishments, and we've used up some of that paper tube and saved it out of the recycling bin. Do you have stencils and they're kind of rolling around in your drawers or a folder and you want to keep them all neat and tidy? Just grab one of these paper clamps. Make sure they're all together, clamp it on. Great crafting hack to keep your stencils all organized. Want to keep your ruler from floating around on paper or on fabric when you're trying to cut it? Put a little elastic band on the top of your roller, and then when you put it on your fabric or your piece of paper, it's not going to slide around anymore, and you can make a really nice straight cut and not worry about it skidding across your fabric or your paper. And this is such an easy hack. Do you want to cut your clay really easy? I've got this clay that I picked up at the dollar store, and it's brand new, it's nice and fresh, and I'm going to show you how you can cut a piece off of it really easy with some dental floss. Take a length and just press it into that clay, and it's going to go right through the clay and cut that piece of clay off that you need for your DIY. And it's nice and clean, straight edge, and you can get exactly what you need off your block of air dry clay. This is a really simple DIY hack, but sometimes it's nice just to have a reminder to make your own DIY confetti. Don't go to the dollar store and buy some, because I'm sure you have all kinds of scrap paper around that you can get out your hole punch and punch all kinds of confetti if you want to add it into any of your DIY projects. And they're going to be all kinds of assorted colors, and they're going to be so pretty, and we're going to save some money. I am always making a mess in my craft room, and I'm going to show you how I clean up those messes. I always have these socks that appear that the other one is missing. So I keep them all in a little bin and I use them to clean my table in my craft room. I spray my cleaner on, put the sock on my hand, and you can really scrub at the table. And the nice thing about this hack is when you're all done, you can take it off and throw it in the washing machine and use it again. Another little hack that I like to do is I always have a little credit card or a card that I store in my craft room dresser, and it's really great for scrapping off little bits of paint and glue. And I'm sure most of us already know this, but it's always great, again, to have a little reminder of little hacks that we can do to help us along in our craft room. I'll just scrape away with a little scraper and the sock and the cleaner, and before you know it, my craft table is perfect and ready to go again. Next time you buy something, don't throw those tags in the garbage. I'm going to show you how you can upcycle them, and this is a really great DIY hack. This is a tag that I got off a piece of clothing that I bought. It already even had a piece of string on it, and we're going to turn this into a little tag that's going to be perfect to add to any type of gift, birthday gift, anniversary gift. I've got some packing tape, and I'm going to put the packing tape on top of that tag. We're going to press it down really well with a card, getting all the bubbles and wrinkles out. And then we're going to peel away that packing tape. And as we are, it's going to take away that lettering that's on that tag and give us a blank tag that we can create into something new. So next time you're out shopping, you're going to be looking at the tags and see how many beautiful shapes and sizes that you're going to get on some of your items, and you're going to want to upcycle them. I like to get a nice piece of scrapbooking paper, and I put some glue stick on the other side of that tag, glue it down on that scrapbooking paper, and then you can trim it around with your scissors, and you can make all of the tags you ever need ever again by so many different ways. You can add scrapbooking paper, you can add just a plain piece of paper, and you can do some alcohol ink, you can do some watercolor, you can use gift wrap paper, so many ideas. And I just punch a hole in the top, making it a little bit bigger. We're going to go back to that string that was already on the tag. We're going to reuse it, and this is ready to be put on a gift. Another DIY hack is when you're at the thrift store, head to the crafting section, because I found a whole bag of these decorative scissors for $4.99. I think there was 12 pair of decorative scissors, all with different edges, and I can add these into my craft room for a fraction of the price. So, and you might even find things there that they don't even make anymore that are original, and you can save some money. But these scissors were a fantastic find. I use them all the time in my junk journaling, and I didn't have to spend a whole bunch of money. Do you want to cut a piece of fabric in a certain shape, but it's really hard to hang on to the fabric and then cut it out of that shape? Put some packing tape on the fabric and trim off around the edges. And I've got this rectangle, which is actually a little clothing tag, but that's the size that I want my fabric to be. And just trim around the edges, and the packing tape is going to keep that fabric stiffer and easier to cut around, and you're going to get a nice crisp edge. And then once you have it cut, you can just peel away that packing tape, and you've got your piece of fabric exactly the size that you want. This one frayed a little bit. I'm just going to take off the little edges, and we have a perfect rectangle that was much easier to cut with that packing tape on it. Do you have a knot that you don't want to budge? Tie the knot, pull it really tight, and then my little hack is to take some fabric glue. This stuff is fantastic, and that knot is not going to budge. I just put a little bit on the knot, I squish it in, it dries clear, and that knot is not going anywhere. If you don't have any fabric glue, you can also just use some school glue. It's maybe not quite as strong, but it works pretty good too for keeping your knots in place. Another crafting hack is don't run to the dollar store to buy all kinds of bins to organize your craft supplies. You can find everything that you need in your recycling bin. I save my glass jars, my tin cans, and they all come in handy for organizing all of my craft supplies. Got a crafting project and you don't want it to roll around on your table? Get a lint roller. It's sticky, it's going to hold your jar or whatever you're working on in place, and it's not going to roll around. Next hack, if you got glitter all over your table and you want to clean it up, again, get that lint roller, roll it into the glitter, it cleans it all up and you won't have a mess and it's not all over the place. You can also use some packing tape, and it's really great for picking up glitter also if you don't have a lint roller. And what I like to do after I've picked up all of my glitter, I don't throw this in the garbage. I incorporate it into my junk journaling or my mixed media projects, because we now have a beautiful piece of tape that's covered in glitter and it's going to look beautiful on one of our pages. Also save that sheet from the lint roller because it's beautiful too, all covered in glitter. Add it to your crafting projects. Got a DIY that you have to glue together and you don't want it to move around? Add your glue and then get out those paper clamps again, especially if it's a small item, and you can just clamp it in place, set it aside, let it dry, and it's not going to move around at all. Need to make a straight line with some glue? Just get your ruler out and you've got a guide to make a nice straight line with your glue. This is really easy and you can just wipe off your ruler with a little tissue afterwards, but you have nice straight lines of glue that you can add to your DIY projects. Thanks for watching. Let me know which one's your favorite hack.